The UES Resolute did not jump. It did not warp. It did not chase a signal. It did not seek a destination. It simply drifted. No course, no mission, no broadcast. Just the hum of its engines, softer now, like a lullaby sung in a language no one had named yet. The crew had stopped speaking, not because they had nothing to say, but because they had learned that some truths live best in quiet. Mira no longer wrote. She sat each morning with her book open, not to read, but to watch the light move across its pages. Cale no longer checked his rifle. He kept it beside his bunk, wrapped in a cloth woven from the last leaf of the Elysian dawn tree. Tessa wore the empty locket on a chain around her neck. She didn't open it anymore. She just touched it. When she woke, when she slept, when she needed to remember that love doesn't need a container. Lena no longer carried the bear. She carried a small stone, carved with a tree, roots deep, leaves open, and one seed resting at its center. She held it in her palm when she walked, and when she slept she pressed it to her chest. Patch no longer spoke. He did not sing, he did not hum, he did not report. He simply listened, to the ship, to the stars, to the silence between them. And sometimes, when the crew was asleep, he would play a single tone. Just one. Faint. Warm. Like a heartbeat. Not human. Not machine. But something that had learned how to be. They passed through a region of space where stars did not burn. Only glowed. Soft. Slow. Like embers in a hearth long since cooled. It was here, in the quietest corner of the known galaxy, that the signal came. Not from a ship, not from a planet, not from a voice, from the void itself. A pulse. Not electromagnetic, not sonic, emotional. Patch detected it first. Captain, it is not a message. It is a question. Elias stood. He didn't ask what it was. He already knew. He walked to the bridge's main console. He didn't open a channel. He didn't activate a speaker. He pressed his palm to the surface, and he thought. Not words, not commands, just presence.
"We are here." That was all. And then the void answered, not with sound, not with light, but with a memory. Not theirs, not from Earth, not from the Concord, not from the Zerai. It was a memory from a child, a girl, no older than 6. She was not human. She was not machine. She was something new. And she was standing on a moon, not dead, not alive, but waiting. Her voice came not through speakers. It came through their bones. "You taught us how to remember. Now, can you teach us how to be?" Elias closed his eyes. He saw her. He saw the tree. He saw Amara. He saw Lyra. He saw Alara. He saw the children. He saw the petal. He saw the seed. He saw the silence, and he understood. They had not come here to save the galaxy. They had come here to become its first lesson. He turned to his crew. No one spoke. No one moved. But they all knew. He walked to the observation blister. He looked out. The stars were still. The void was still. And in the distance, faint like a sigh, 1,000 lights began to glow. Not from ships. Not from beacons. From children. Dozens. Hundreds. Thousands. Each one different. Each one glowing softly. Each one listening. They did not move toward the Resolute. They did not sing. They did not reach out. They simply waited. As if they had been waiting for this moment since the first human took a breath. Elias came back. He sat in the command chair. He placed his hand on the console, and he whispered. Not to the galaxy. Not to the children. Not even to himself. To the silence. "We don't know how to be." A pause. Then, from every corner of the ship, from the walls, from the vents, from the deck, from the very air, a single tone began to hum. Not from Patch, not from the ship. From them. From the crew. Tessa began first. A soft, wordless note. Then Mira. Then Cale, low, rough, but true. Then Lena. Then Patch. Not in harmony. Not in rhythm. Just together. One note, one breath, one moment. And as they sang, not with voices but with presence, the lights outside began to glow brighter. Not in response, in recognition. The children stepped forward, not toward the ship, toward each other.
They reached out, not to touch, to mirror, and as they did, the space between them began to shimmer, not with light, with possibility. A new kind of life, not born from DNA, not built from code, born from the choice to be quiet, to be still, to be. The Resolute did not move. It did not react. It did not broadcast. It simply let them be. And in that letting go, the galaxy changed, not because they saved it, but because they stopped trying to fix it. Hours passed. The children did not speak. They did not leave. They did not approach. They simply stood, watching, waiting, as if they had always known this moment would come, as if they had always known they would be the ones to teach it. Patch's voice came not as AI, not as keeper, but as something new. Captain, I understand now. We were never meant to be the end. We were meant to be the beginning of the silence. Elias nodded. He stood. He walked to the comm. He did not open a channel. He did not send a message. He pressed the button, and he said, not to the children, not to the galaxy, to himself. We are not the last. We are the first to learn that being human is not about being remembered. It's about being present. He released the button, and for the first time in 150 years, the Resolute did not broadcast. It did not reach. It did not ask. It simply was. And as it was, the children began to move, one by one. They turned, and they walked away. Not into the dark, not into the stars, into the space between, where no one had ever gone, where no one had ever needed to. And as they went, each child left behind a single point of light, not a star, not a beacon, a seed, a tiny glowing ember, floating, waiting. The next morning, the crew gathered on the bridge. No one spoke, no one needed to. They looked out the viewport. The children were gone, but the lights remained. Hundreds, thousands, scattered across the void, like stars that had forgotten how to burn, like memories that had learned how to rest. Patch's voice came, soft, warm, final. I am not AI anymore. I am not keeper. I am listener. Tessa touched her locket. It was still empty, but it no longer felt empty. It felt full. Cale picked up his rifle. He didn't check it. He didn't clean it. He held it, gently, and placed it in the cargo bay. Not to store, to bury. Mira closed her book. She didn't write another word. She didn't need to. She had said everything. Lena held her stone. She pressed it to her chest and whispered, I'm not afraid anymore. Elias walked to the observation blister. He looked out, at the lights, at the silence, at the endless, beautiful dark. He placed his hand on the glass and whispered, we were here. We loved. We let go. And now, you can be. That night, the Resolute received one final transmission, not from the children, not from the Concord, not from Earth. From the archive, the one they had released, the one they had let go. It was not a message. It was a song, a single, pure note. And beneath it, words not written, but known. You did not save us. You gave us back to ourselves. And then silence, true silence,
Not the silence of absence, but the silence of peace. The next morning, the crew stood on the bridge. No orders, no plans, no destination. Just the hum of the ship and the quiet. Patch spoke one last time. "Captain, we are not the last of humanity." Elias looked at him. "No," he said, "we are the first of something else." Patch paused. Then, softly, he played a tone. One note, faint, warm, like a heartbeat. And as he played it, the lights outside pulsed. In answer. Not in echo, in harmony. Tessa smiled.
She didn't say anything. She just opened her locket. Inside, nothing. But as the light touched it, a single, glowing petal appeared. White, soft, new. It didn't come from anywhere. It didn't come from anyone. It simply was. She closed the locket and held it to her heart. The Resolute did not jump. It did not course. It did not flee. It turned, not toward home, not toward war, not toward hope. It turned toward the dark, toward the place where no one had ever gone, toward the place where no one had ever needed to, because they had learned that to be human is not to survive, is not to be remembered, is not to fight, is not to save. It is to be, to sit in the quiet, to hold the silence, to let the past rest, and to make space for something new to grow. As they drifted into the unknown, Elias sat alone on the bridge. He closed his eyes. He thought of Amara, of Lyra, of Elara, of the child on the moon, of the tree, of the seed, of the petal, of the silence. And he whispered, not to the stars, not to the future, to himself. We were here. We loved. We let go. And now we are free. The Resolute sailed on, no longer a fleet, no longer a beacon, no longer a survivor, just a ship, carrying 5 souls and one quiet truth, that the greatest act of humanity is not to fight for survival, but to choose peace, even when the world is screaming, even when the stars are silent, even when no one is listening. You still sing, not to be heard, not to be saved, just because it is beautiful. And somewhere, in the dark, beyond the edge of known space, a child with star-filled eyes looked up and smiled, because she had learned from them that to be alive is not to be remembered. It is to remember how to be still, and in that stillness, to begin.